Punky Brewster, what a great show. Full of heartwarming stories. And another thing that it was full of that we're really missing in television today, lessons. Lots of little tiny PSAs shoved into every episode. They talked about everything from the Challenger exploding to disabilities to obesity. Any lesson that they could shove into an episode, they did it. And I think it's great, and they need to do more of that in today's television. So we're at the corner of Wilshire Boulevard and Chateau Place. And this building right here, this is where Henry Warnemont's photo studio was. Now, it would have been probably somewhere right about here, but unfortunately in 2002, they knocked down that building and they built this structure. But not to worry. There's a bunch of other Punky Brewster filming locations right on this very block, and we're gonna go check them out. They're still alive and well. They're down that way, because that's where, when Henry Warnemont, we see him in the very first episode opening credits, he closes up his store and then he heads down that sidewalk. This is the first building past where Henry's photo studio was, and we see this during the opening credits. We see Punky and Brandon walking right by this building. Notice that basement window down there, along with those 3 windows that are set back with the little gates in front of them. Also, that pipe sticking out of the wall just above the brick line right there. All of that can be seen when Punky's walking by. And just down the street a little bit, we see a building that looks almost identical to the first one. This is the building that Henry walks by during the opening credits. Now, as you can see, this one has changed a little bit more. They've stuck it over all the bricks on the lower part of the building. They even plastered over that basement window. Right here, this is the shot that we would have got of Henry walking past the building and getting ready to cross the street right here. This is where we see the man sitting down with his legs stretched out across the sidewalk. Henry stops and looks down at him before stepping over him and continuing to walk down the street. Now, it's kind of hard to see through this fence right here, but if you see that little wall down there, that's exactly where the man would have been sitting. I think he's kind of leaned up against that wall. And this is more of the shot that we get where you can see all the windows going down the side of the building. And right here we see Henry and Punky walk right by each other before Henry turns and walks up these steps. Because of course, this is the home of Henry and Punky. And this is amazing. It looks 100% the same. So awesome to see this in real life. Completely untouched. I love it. Another really cool thing is this apartment building was used in a 1926 movie called The Strong Man. And to see how it looked in 1926 and then in 1984 and now in 2020, and it looks the same all throughout the years. Looking down the side of the building, there's the fire escape that Punky would have climbed up in the opening credits of the very first episode so that she could sneak into the building. That's where she would have been standing, right there. And notice all of these windows down here with the metal coverings over them. These can all be seen in the shot. So why don't we go around back right now and check out Punky's treehouse. Coming down the side of the building to go to the back, and what do I find here? An abandoned refrigerator. Apparently they learned nothing from the episode where Cherry gets locked inside of an abandoned refrigerator. Unbelievable. Well, I came back here to see what Punky's treehouse looked like, and I'm really sad to find out that they tore it down to put in a parking lot. Alright, I'm just messing around. It's totally obvious that that was all shot on a set, but this is what the back of the building looks like. So unfortunately, that's going to do it for our Punky Brewster filming locations, because as you probably already know, the majority of the show was filmed inside sound stages. And actually, some of the seasons were filmed right here in this building behind me. This is Burbank Studios, formerly NBC Studios, before NBC merged with Universal and moved over to the Universal Studios lot. But back when this was NBC Studios, so many of our favorite 80s and 90s TV shows were shot right here on this lot. Right here, this is where people used to line up for The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. I lined up here many times to see Prince perform on The Tonight Show. Man, I sure do miss those days. But here in the back lot is where you'll find Studio 11, and that's the soundstage where they shot Punky Brewster. It's also worth mentioning that that's the same studio where they shot The Weird Al Show, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Supermarket Sweep. If we look just past Studio 11, you'll find Studio 9, and that's where they shot Saved by the Bell. I'm not exactly sure what seasons of Saved by the Bell were shot here, but I'm thinking it was some of the later seasons because they also shot Saved by the Bell, the new class, in that studio. But yep, Studio 11, that's where they shot Punky Brewster. Now, I have been inside NBC Studios and I've gotten up close to Studio 11 and Studio 9, and unfortunately there's no plaques or anything listing the shows that were filmed inside of these studios. Maybe later I'll do a video on Burbank / NBC Studios. What do you guys think? Alright, that's going to do it for our Punky Brewster filming location video. If you like this video, make sure to click subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
There's always lots to see on Punky Brewster. There's rock and rollers, alien beings, strange mutants, lots of hammy acting, overgrown teenagers, celebrated sports figures, funky hairdos, disco dogs, home decorating, and fashion tips. So keep your eyes on Punky Brewster.
What will they think of next?
Punky Brewster, today at 5:30 on TV 38.